Good day, fish tankers. I'm here in Randburg in Oxford Street at the brand new Aqua Empire. I even brought my old man along with me to Joburg. And I'm here for boxing, but we're looking at some fish as well. Let's go check out what they have. Alright, here we go through the entrance, and this is the display room. Lots of dry goods there. As always, I'll leave that for the end of the video for you guys who are interested, but in short, they've got all the big brands, and you see plenty of aquariums, the whole range, jewel tanks, EIM. I've also spotted just the normal Darrow tanks if you're just beginning, but here is something that is going to cost a pretty pennies, maybe not for a beginner. This is the ADA system with all glass. The cabinet is glass there. You see that stainless steel canister filter. And this is for you ADA nuts. It's a small little tank. I think it's about 30 liters if I have to estimate. There's some yellow shrimp there and some rosy rasbouras. And here's a bigger one. This is Ethan's personal. These are Ethan's personal aquariums actually, that he's moved into the shop because he's moving house. So it's a lot older than a few weeks. It's about just over a year old, this one. And look at the carpet. Needle leaf, Java fern. Here's a fire red shrimp. He's got the stainless steel intake pipes. There's another shrimp over there. I'm trying to see through the foliage here. There's more shrimp. There's fish as well. There's some 6-banded barbs that you see swimming around in the back. Towards the end of the video, I've got a nice shot of the barbs feeding, and then they come out in front. So stick around to the end for that. Right now it's difficult to capture them, and I made a rookie mistake. I've got a white shirt on while filming, so apologies for the reflection. And here's a little bog tank. There's no filter, and it's mostly indigenous plants. You'll see there's coniferous plants at the back, and it's just a very simple, very pretty looking little bog. Just plants in here. Very nice in a little shallow aquarium. Good stuff. And then they've got some bog plants and pond plants sitting there in their pond that's still to do. There's the dry goods, which we'll get to at the end of a video. There you'll see the various aquariums, and here is, it's not water in the bottom, so it's sort of a terrarium. It's also Ethan's personal one, and really beautiful, I must say. I can't identify all those plants, so if you can tell me what those broadleaf purplish plants are, let me know down below in the comments. But if you just want an indoor little tropical garden, you can't go wrong with these. Now there's a marine display as well, this little marine nano reef, and the marine fish are coming. Those tanks are cycling. Nice corals. You'll see the clownfish, of course. And there's what looks like a damsel to me. And here is another paludarium style tank with the water below, 2 of them, with the immersed plants growing upwards. The mist on, and here we're back to your normal aquariums. Very thickly planted, this one. Beautiful from the top and the bottom carpet. You can see what looks to me like S. repens growing a bit taller there. And there at the back, there's some Axel Rodi rasbouras, way at the back. If I can get them in on the camera. You've got some pencil fish. They look like Beckford's pencil fish. Skimmer. There's some ruby tetras and some spotted danios swimming across. And this is yet another one, some lily pads. Look at it from the top as well. Look, and these are just crypts mostly. And you see what the difference the CO2 makes, and some Colombian redfin tetras, one of my favorites. There's a few emperor tetras as well. And these don't seem to eat those anubias leaves on the right. I must make a point to ask Ethan about it. And there we've got a Farlowella, a red whiptail there, a red colour variety. And here you see another scape that's more moss and Bucephalandra based. And talking to Ethan, he says a lot of people think that high-tech aquascapes are high maintenance because the plants grow so fast, but it's about the plants you select, according to him. And moss and bush don't grow that fast, so this would be a more low maintenance. There's the Axel Rhodai rasbora. Sorry, I thought I saw him in the previous scape. If you select those plants, it's not that higher maintenance because they don't grow that fast anyway. And this, I believe, is a professor's tank. This is a professor, I forget his name now, it makes the aquarium smith worm. I've used this product, very good product.
Good yourself.
And it's an EIM tank, more old school tank with a closed canopy. But they do have, I think, Chihiros lights, the ones that are water resistant, that can be inside all the water and the damp in this. And they've also added CO2. So you'll see the cherry barbs. I like the stones. And in there I saw a small pea puffer, a single pea puffer. There he's gone. He's back into the leaves. So there's a single pea puffer hanging out there. I think it's the same one. Last time I visited there were two. I don't know if he's the only one left, or she, or whether the other one is hiding in there. Pea puffers, not usually community fish, but sometimes in a big tank like this it does work out. You just got to do the trouble to feed them, because they don't eat dried food like the other fish do. But all the fish here at Aqua Empire gets live baby brine shrimp once a day. Just a quick look again at all the tanks, and here is another room, and this is the plant room and the hardscape room for your aquascapers out there. Look at all the rocks. There's elephant skin, there's dragon rock, there's all kinds, spider wood, mopani wood, as you can see. You've got the in vitro cups. Here you've got your submerged plants with sort of growing immersed in a high humidity environment in that enclosure. Here as well, that's the old plant cabinet from the old shop, I think, if I'm correct, if I remember right. There is some terrestrial plants for terrariums and paludariums. And over here you also see a escaping dojo, so you can figure out what it would look like in your tank size on the footprint that you use, and in the fridge, of course, for in vitro cups. And let's go out here and let's go look at the actual fish room. You know, it's an old house here. You walk down the passageway, past the toilets, down you go. You just follow the fish. It's like it swallows you in. Down the stairs we go. Careful not to fall. When you're filming, you must look where your feet go, otherwise before you know it, we have a nosedive down the staircase. Well, that might go viral, who knows. And there we go into the fish room. Lots of rooms here to the side that even will show us more towards the end. They've got lots of expansion plans still, believe it or not. And you were into the fish room. I turned the background noise just a tad down because, as you can imagine, there's blowers. Everything is centrally heated. And here we are. More nanofish. Here we've got some endless. And some scarlet Bettas. There's some females also in there that I see. More guppies. I'm going to skip through the more mundane stuff. Once again, sorry for the white shirt reflection. These are interesting because these are endless. There you can see the males, and the females have no color at all. You can see there the price, and you actually have, usually you only see the males because they're colorful. But here you have the females as well. So you guys there want to have a breeding project of a sort of a nano guppy. Here we have these very nice looking endless whip females. So you can pick up your breeding stock here from Aqua Empire. Back to your ordinary guppies, and these are those red albino guppies, I believe. You can see the red eye, very bright red. And some mollies, a staple of a hobby, but these are very nice looking healthy mollies. It's hard sometimes to get healthy ones. They like the hard water up here in Gauteng. They'll even convert to marine setups. There we have a very nice looking female betta. In between some pencil fish. There's some more, there's some Kerry tetras. And some more scarlet Bettas, guppies. Plenty of guppies, and these are, you know, black emperor tetras, or sort of half black, more like purplish. And there we have a double red Apistogramma agassizii. Your dwarf cichlids in a small aquarium, a male like that, small now being, I would say, at least 20 gallons, at least a 2-foot tank. In a small aquarium it makes a very nice centerpiece fish, and even in a bigger aquarium, as you guys who follow the channel know, I had that black master eye there for a very long time. And here we have some gudgeons, some peacock gudgeons, and now we're just going to skip over. And at the peacock gudgeons you can see there it's hot because they centrally heat is placed to 26 degrees, and there's that heater blowing there, which is quite hot when you're standing there. It's coolish in Gauteng, but down here in the fish room it's hot. And there's some black emperors again. And some Congo tetras with some red rainbows in between. I don't have that color right now. You can Google the red rainbows. They're big fish for a big community tank. Palmer tank will do great in. They get this very striking red color. And these are, when I do these voiceovers, I have to sort of squint to look at the small screen on my phone. I think those are Listras boras. Tiny, tiny, tiny little fish. You know, and they, if you want to do escape, sorry, not Listras, but these are now Axel Rhodai. And you can see the blue color is just coming through. They don't display their best in a bare tank. Rummy noses. Lots of fish here, the bread and butter stuff, and some of the more unusual stuff. And these are Asian rummy noses. Not your normal rummy noses, they've got those blue bodies. Some female guppies there with some good color. And here we have some Costae tetras. Simple coloration, silver body with that stripe at the tail going upwards, a black stripe, but they're very striking fish because they're tight schoolers. They follow your hand much like white-tip tetras without the attitude. And here we have green neons and SAEs, Siamese algae eaters, for that blackbeard algae. Can't find them there. They smash the blackbeard algae and they're small like this, but then of course you sit with a bigger fish. Here's your normal rummy nose, the South American rummy nose, as opposed to the Asian rummy nose. Also a tight schooler. And some ember tetras. And here we have some Apistogramma panduro. There's a male showing some color. Also a great dwarf cichlid. You know, for you guys who don't have big tanks and you want to have a small breeding project, all that cichlid personality with less of an attitude. They still have a bit of attitude. And if you have just one in a tank, it's a good centerpiece fish. Some black neon tetras here, and what looks like some pearl danios. not fully coloured up, not sure if they're not glow light tangles perhaps. And these are ruby barbs, along with the rummy noses and some Lake Kutubu or indigo rainbows. Now those ruby barbs, underrated fish, old school fish, but the males get a beautiful dark ruby colour, a bit bigger than a tiger barb, but not that aggression. And then the cardinal tetras we know, mainstay of hobby, always popular. I like them too, have them in my 29 as you guys know. And pea puffers. And you can see the pea puffers, those little specks that you see in the water, they've just been fed live baby brine shrimp. The brine shrimp will survive for a short while in the fresh water. It triggers a feeding response. It's very good for your fish if you can hatch fat. And for pea puffers, it's great, because mine lived on brine shrimp and bloodworm. And I think if you were to feed them baby brine every day, if you have a stamina for it, it'll solve a lot of algae problems. And here we've got some peppered corridoras, also a classic old school fish. And we've got some Julii corridoras as well. That's what they listed at here. I'm not sure 100% if they are the true Julii or the trilineatus. You aquarium experts or the corridoras experts can tell me down in the comments. Angels, lots of angels here, plenty of angels, and some discus, really nice sized discus here. And these two, the way they behave next to each other, might even be a pair. Won't be able to tell 100%. But they seem there's not a hierarchy there, and they seem to swim together, so that might indicate that we could have a pair here. And honey gouramis, my favorite smaller gourami. You know what the one looks like in my aquarium, so that's how they color up. And some angels there in the background, more angels. These are bigger angels. So they're also a cichlid that you can keep in a planted aquarium as a single specimen or in a very big group, because there are cichlids. You can see this one coming towards me, he's got an attitude already. I look at the shape of the head, probably a male, but one can make that mistake when they're young. Some guppies mixed in with the neon tetras. This is a nice shot of the two old school aquarium fish. Hey? Everybody started with guppies and neons, and then the neons were expensive back in my old man's day, but today they're dirt cheap. And these, I almost got excited and thought, but these look to me like still juvenile mascara barbs and some albino glow light tetras. And ball gouramis. I've got one in my big tank. Also a nice centerpiece fish where you can keep them in a small group. I would suggest 3 or more. 2, sometimes one develops dominance and starts bullying the other one. And Colombian redfin tetras. There's a SAE swimming around. And here we've got the double red agassizii again with cardinal tetras. There's that male, very nice looking male. And another one. Love those dwarf cichlids. I've made a video just about them, that group of fish, and there's a betta rack. And that's how in a store you should keep the bettas. You can see there's for drip filtration in all the different compartments. So they have filtered and heated water, not sitting there in a cup. The spaces that they have here is too small to keep them in, I would say, permanently. You know, I would say keep them in at least a 5-gallon, 20-litre tank. But for staying here in the store, because it's a fast-selling fish, that's quite okay. You know, heated and filtered water, that is what they require. They like it warm. They like good water quality like any other fish, and they don't like a lot of water movement. So it's interesting to see that they have a drip filtration here. It's just sort of a small jet of water coming in. In some stores you see a jet of water and okay, they've got filtration, but then I want to slap somebody, the water flow is too high. You see the poor fish being blown around. This is ideal because they come from swamps and marshlands and rice paddies originally in the wild. Well, these are far, far removed from the wild fish with all these colours. That's my favourite colour. That's a koi Nemo with that sort of variety. Here's another one. I said I'm done with bettas because I had some jumping out. Another thing about them, keep a lid on the tank. But now I've got a red crown tail, and so I'm back with a Bettas, a Siamese fighting fish. There's a crown tail. That's how weapons are supposed to look. And here's a more white one. All kinds of colors. Lots and lots of different Bettas. This is a very nice looking one. You can just get past the reflection in the glass. The yellow one, blue one. I'm going to show a lot of Bettas here, because I know a lot of you guys like them, especially the beginning fish keepers. I also like them. They learn to recognize their own and they come up to the glass begging for food. There's another pro Betta tip that I keep repeating. Do not overfeed them. Just because they ask for food doesn't mean that they should be fed. 3 or 4 or 5 max small little Betta pellets a day. Alternate now and then with a bit of frozen food, but not a lot, and stay away from the flakes in the conventional fish food. That's why I don't like them in those community setups, because some of them are better than getting at the food than others, and they overeat, they get bloated. And I've had Bettas that got like that I managed to cure Epsom salt barbs, and I've had others that I couldn't cure, it also died. Tiger barbs, beautiful, beautiful little fish, always active, but not a community fish. Unless you put them in a community with your tougher fish. I've seen them work with big fish like red parrots, maybe a red tail shark or a rainbow shark. We go to the cichlids. We've got some very nice, these are peacocks, so they're mid-water swimmers. I think that's what the Americans call a lemon jake. I'm not a cichlid, I'm not an African cichlid expert like you guys know. I don't like to manage all the aggressions, but there's some really beautiful fish here and they do well in the Gauteng oil water. Here is a tinfoil barb. It's a big fish, and that's why you must think twice before buying, because like this big Oscar, they grow very big, so you must know what you're getting into. For these fish, you want at least a 5 foot or bigger aquarium, 400 liters and up, at least. The bigger the better. And some goldfish, really nice goldfish, fancy goldfish. They are expensive, as you know, so give them a proper home. They don't necessarily need a heated aquarium, but they do want it a little bit warmer, here at about 75, 24 degrees Celsius. And here's a banded leperinus. Really nice fish if you keep it with cichlids and tough fish that are much bigger than it, because they do get aggressive. And back to another goldfish. So for example, you'd never put that leperinus in with one of these fat boys. It will be the death of these poor goldfish. But really nice ones here. And also with goldfish, another tip, feed them some vegetable food every now and often some spirulina flakes that's meant, or pellets that's meant for African Mbuna cichlids, or maybe some de-shelled blanched peas. That helps to keep their digestion going, because of these fat bodies, it's not a fish that you'll find in nature, they can develop issues. Back to some more discus. They really have a nice variety of discus here. Look at this one, he's not shy, he's checking out the camera. And ooh, there's a white discus. I don't really like these off the beaten path varieties that much. I like them to be a bit more natural. And here is a nice one of the redder varieties. Some more discus, smaller ones. Go check out Aqua Empire's channel, give it a like, give it a subscribe, because they have got these nice unboxing videos, and then you'll see what they import almost on a weekly basis. And once again, I've missed Richard in the store to Ethan and Athwal and the boys were there to have a chat and help me out. Richard, maybe next time I bump into you. I bumped into him the first or the second time I did a store tour. Can't remember which. Ooh, these discus are also very nice. Big scribbled discus. Look at that intricate pattern. Now, this is my sort of discus. You know, if I had to do discus again, I'll get me some of these scribbled discus, or even the more wild variety, the turquoise variety. These are more the kind of discus that I prefer. Very good body shape as well. Look at how round they are. They haven't got the pointed faces, which means they haven't been, starved, they've been fed properly from the get-go. These are all empty racks of tanks that you see is being run in, being cycled, establishing beneficial bacteria on those tanks for more fish that are coming. So Ethan's going to tell us in a while what's coming up. And here's some baby Oscars. So they look cute as heck like that. I'm going to move a camera around so you can see how they follow the camera. And I think they're going to be fed. There's some lemons. But like the big one I just showed you, they grow into really big fish, more than a foot long, and a heavy set fish that needs a big tank with big filtration and big water, periodical partial water changes. So great wet pet, but think before you get one, you need a big tank for this. Chili Oscar. And let's see if they all go upwards. Yeah, they move the camera, they follow the camera around. Bala sharks, another great fish. They like to be in small groups, but not only do they get very big, they are also fast swimmers. So this is for your more verging towards your monster fish keepers. They need big aquariums. And if you don't have that big of an aquarium, 4 foot or so, then these roseline sharks, also called torpedo barbs, are very nice. Rainbow sharks, here they're in a big group, so that cancels out the aggression. But don't put in 2 in a tank or a similar looking fish, because they will fight. Just have one. Have one rainbow shark or one bicolor shark, and you'll be fine. And now we're on to the shrimps. Big shrimp rack here as well. Those are some fire red shrimps. I miss the correct names of the varieties sometimes. Some more of them here. Looks like some yellow shrimp sitting there. I can just get the camera to focus on this and not my white shirt. Trying to find them. We've got some. These are Carabina for your more expert shrimp keepers. There we've got some crystal reds. And for these you generally would use osmosis water but you remineralize. And these are some Mexican dwarf crayfish at quite a good size. And that's the red shrimps, the cherry shrimps, but it's a dark red variety. Now we're going to go over to Ethan. He's going to tell us what's on.
What is this, 20 squares or something for us to expand into. Then there's the room behind that wall over here. Now, we don't know what this is going to be yet. Maybe a marine room, maybe for coral, maybe for koi. There's so many options. But we have run an airline in here already. So there's more space in here as well.
Alright. You can make it your marine section.
Maybe marine, maybe koi, goldfish, who knows. More space for monster fish if we want to do large catfish and things like that, which we will start doing. That 2.4 meter tanks for stingrays.
What's bigger here in Joburg? Your marine stuff, your tropical stuff, the planted hobby.
So for us, planted is definitely the biggest. I think 2020 saw that bit of a dip after in the marine space, and that's sort of come back quite well. So all of those banks over there, that whole wall is saltwater. So we will be expanding into the marine again. Dabbled a little bit. Now we're going full bore. And then the big difference with us we'll probably be the only store that offers a full 4-week medicated quarantine process for every fish. So I'll go through a full protocol for each species of fish, and you'll pay more for the fish, but it'll be clean. No more parasites. So that is the goal on the marine.
Fantastic.
So full backup, 20 kVA generator, 30 kVA inverter, currently only 4 batteries. That will expand in the future. And then they just put up, I think it was 80 solar panels or something on Thursday. So full backup power, we'll never have any issues ever.
Jeez. Well, thanks, Ethan. You guys are waxed. So if I were in Joburg and we're in the blackouts again, I'll bring all my fish here. I'll park them off. I'll probably have to pay you guys a lot of bucks for it. But you're geared now.
Yeah.
It's nice to see. There's Atwell as well, we all know him. Okay, let's go back to the fish.
Okay, here we're back at the display. We see the 6 banded barbs feeding nicely. And this is a point where I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Please come out and support Aqua Empire. Also visit their website. They have a fully functional website. You can order fish and dry goods from them anywhere in the country. And I'm going to play out with dry goods here, so you can see more or less what they have. They basically have everything. So please remember to smash that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, it really helps the channel. And until we see each other again, take good care of those domestic denizens of the deep.